We thought it would be the ultimate lads' holiday, sun, beaches, and world-class rugby in South Africa. But 4 hours into the wilderness, we found an abandoned battlefield, a slashed-up jeep, and a man who told us we'd die if we stayed the night. He was right. Something was out there, and it knocked on our door. It's been over 15 years since it happened. I've never really told my version. The story's been passed around by the news, the cops, ghost hunters, but no one really knows what went down. Not even me. I met Brad at university. We both joined the rugby team. That's probably the only reason we ever got close. Without rugby, we'd have had nothing in common. I was the grounded one, always thinking ahead. Brad was pure chaos, fun-loving, impulsive, always chasing the next thrill. Somehow, before we'd even graduated, Brad got engaged. He dropped a ridiculous sum on a ring and insisted on one last lads trip before tying the knot. We mulled over destinations for weeks until we remembered the British and Irish Lions were touring that year. If you don't follow rugby, the Lions are a dream team, players from England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland, and every 4 years they tour one of the big Southern Hemisphere nations. That year it was South Africa, home of the reigning world champs, the Springboks. Perfect, we thought. Sun, rugby, beaches, a proper farewell to bachelorhood. We scrounged together the cash, extra shifts, some creative accounting with our student loans, and in Brad's case, dipping into the wedding fund. We booked 2 weeks in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal. The plan was simple: sand, parties, one big game, then home. When my dad heard about the trip, he brought up something strange. Turns out one of our ancestors died not far from Durban, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, a soldier who fought at Rorke's Drift. If you've never heard of it, it was basically a real-life 300. A small group of mostly Welsh soldiers held off thousands of Zulu warriors. There's even a film about it. Proud to be Welsh, eh? Dad said. Easy for you to say, I told him. I'm only half. Still, I was curious. I looked it up. The battlefield had been turned into a heritage site with plans for a museum and hotel. But the 90s construction efforts were plagued by disappearances. A few workers vanished, some were found half-eaten by scavengers. Then 2 more disappeared. When their bodies turned up in a similar state, everything shut down. Locals claimed the place was cursed, haunted. Rorke's Drift was only 4 hours from Durban. I felt this strange pull, like I had to go. Pay my respects, maybe. I pitched the idea to Brad. You're insane, he said. 4 hours inland instead of beers and bikinis? This is a lad's holiday. It's savannah, not desert, and it's supposedly haunted. Thought you liked creepy stuff? I liked it when I was 12. Eventually, after enough pestering, he gave in. We rented a Jeep and set off. The heat was brutal, even with every window open. I'm dying in here, Brad whined. What if lions show up? Or hyenas? No predators around Rorke's Drift. I checked. Well, great. Hakuna Bloody Matata. After 4 long hours, we reached the area. The dirt road took us through golden grasslands, scattered trees, and the occasional thatched hut or herd of massive red cattle. Jesus, look at the horns on those things, Brad said. He was acting like we were on safari. We didn't see a single person. Just abandoned buildings and dry silence. We pulled up outside the old museum, unfinished, weather-beaten, left to rot. This it, Brad said. Looks like a crack den. They never finished it. That's what abandoned means. The museum building was rough, red roof rusting, paint flaking, porch sagging. I tried to give Brad some historical context as we walked up. This part would have been the hospital. Riveting, he said. Then he pointed. Reese, what the hell are those? 5 dark tribal masks were nailed to the wall under the porch. They weren't decorative, they were ominous. One had a long snout, sharp wooden teeth, and pointed ears. Hyena? Brad guessed. No, hyenas have round ears, and spots. Wolf? There are no wolves in Africa. Well then, what is it? I don't know. Then don't act like I'm stupid. We tried the museum door, but it was jammed. I was ready to call it off, but Brad just kicked it in. Are you insane? That's breaking and entering. You wanted to see the place, didn't you? I should have walked away, but I followed him in. It was pitch black inside. I grabbed our flashlights from the Jeep. The exhibits were dusty and half finished. A painting of the battle, a Zulu movie poster, cowhide shields, little plastic soldiers in a diorama. Why'd they leave all this, I asked. No clue. Jesus! I jumped. What? He'd lit up a row of mannequins in British uniforms. They're not ghosts, Brad. They're mannequins. Still, they looked unsettling in the dark. I didn't blame him for wanting to get out. We moved on, stopping at the memorial. Past a low stone wall stood a white pillar inscribed with the names of the dead. I found my ancestor, Williams J. That him? Yeah, Private John Williams, died fighting for the Empire. Think his ghost is here? For your sake, I hope not. My family wasn't too fond of the English, because they liked sheep more. Don't talk about your sister like that. Afterward, we checked out the abandoned lodge, orange clay buildings with caved-in roofs overtaken by weeds. This is where the workers vanished? Brad asked. Yeah, sad really. It would have been beautiful. As I started explaining more, Brad grabbed my arm. Reese, over there, something moved. I saw it too, a small figure low to the ground, probably a stray dog. It was on two legs. A moment later, a boy stepped into view. Barefoot, thin, maybe 10 years old, dressed in rags. If that's a ghost... Shut up, Brad, I waved. Hey, you okay? Don't talk to him, Brad hissed. The boy turned and bolted behind the buildings. Wait, we're not here to hurt you. Leave it, he's probably trouble. Back at the Jeep, something felt wrong. It looked lower somehow. Then I saw, all our tires are flat, I whispered. Slashed. What the hell? Brad yelled. In the dirt, small footprints led away, barefoot, kid-sized. That little brat, Brad shouted. Then on life, no wonder he ran. How could he have gotten over here so fast? Then who? We were stranded. No signal, only one spare. No help coming. Brad exploded. This is your fault. Now we're gonna miss the game. Oh, give it a rest. We'll walk to one of the farms at first light. I'm not walking through this in the dark. After arguing, we decided to sleep in the Jeep and go for help in the morning. The night was suffocating. Dark, dead silent. Brad fell asleep fast. I couldn't. Then I saw it. Headlights. Another vehicle parked behind us. The engine purred. I shook Brad. Someone's here! Thank God! He reached for the handle, but I stopped him. We don't know who they are. A horn beeped, repeatedly, impatient, angry. Eventually we got out. The lights were blinding. A door opened. Heavy footsteps. A man stepped forward, tall in old work clothes and a cap. You boys know you're trespassing? He said. We didn't know. He stared for a moment. Looks like you've got car trouble. Someone slashed our tires, Brad snapped. Little bastards, all of them. After a pause, he added, climb in. You'll die out here if you stay. We hesitated, but he seemed like a farmer, and if he meant us harm, he'd already had his chance. We got in. Brad took the front seat. I sat in the back. The cab was dry and smelled of fuel. Where you boys from? He asked as we drove off. Wales, I said. England, Brad added quickly. He grunted. A couple of Brits. The silence stretched. The man said nothing. The road was dark and empty. Brad finally spoke. You said we'd die out here. You mean animals? The man didn't answer. Brad pushed. You believe the ghost stuff then? The masks on the wall, one looked like a hyena or... Don't say that name, the man snapped. What name? Just don't. None of us spoke again. Eventually, I leaned forward. You're not taking us to the police, are you? No answer. We should report the vandalism. Still silence. Then the Jeep turned. Off the main road, onto a dirt path, climbing a hill. Where are we going? The man finally answered. My place. We didn't ask to go to your place, Brad said. You can sleep in the barn. I'll drive you to town at first light. Take us now. No. Brad reached for the door. You get out, the man said, calm but firm, and you'll be buzzard food before sunrise. Brad froze. Let go of the handle. The barn appeared. Long and dark. The man cut the engine. Stay inside. Don't talk to anyone. Don't open the doors until the sun's up. He walked off without another word. We went inside. It was dry, quiet, oddly clean. A lantern flickered from a crate. Tools lined the walls. Straw covered the floor. Brad collapsed onto a hay bale. We're gonna die out here. Don't be ridiculous. I mean it. Slashed tires, creepy kid, ghost masks, a psycho farmer. This is cannibal territory. We'll leave at sunrise. We tried to sleep, but the night had teeth. Then whispers. Faint, just outside. Brad's eyes shot open. He'd heard it too. 3 soft knocks. Brad mouthed, don't answer it. I nodded. More whispering. Then silence. We sat frozen, staring at the door. Somehow we eventually drifted off. Morning came. Sunlight poured through the cracks. Birds chirped. The world looked normal again. The man was already waiting outside, engine running. Let's go, he said. We didn't say a word the entire ride into town, and we've never spoken about that night since.